Well, hello everybody. Apparently, we've done another one.
We did it.
We did it. We've made it past the pilot, and here we are on episode 2 of the Final Descent Outdoors podcast.
If you can believe it.
If you can believe it, you can achieve it.
You can.
That's probably on some cheesy poster in a 5th grade classroom.
Yeah.
If you can believe it, you can achieve it. So here we are. This is
Episode 2.
episode 2.
I am Adam Carter, the producer of Final Descent Outdoors. And I'm sitting here accompanied by the legend, the myth, himself, Brad Clay.
The legendary aspect of me is a myth.
The legendary aspect, which is a myth, known as Brad Clay.
Yes, Brad Clay, host of Final Descent Outdoors, longest running TV show on the Pursuit Channel, and now podcast host. Can we officially call you, like after you do 2?
What level do you have to get to before you can actually claim it?
Name it and claim it.
Not sure what level you have to get to.
That's more the direction you lean than name it and claim it.
No. No, heresy.
This guy over here, on Sunday mornings, you take your offering, throw it in the air, and say, God, keep what you want. What hits the ground, we'll take it and spend it.
Hey, there you go. That's what happens, you know. Sometimes you just got to...
That's not true. That is so not true. I'm so bad.
So many people
Please forgive me.
So many people just cut off the video.
Yeah, we just lost. I
can't stomach that produder.
I can't.
He's just a piece of trash. Just a giant piece of trash.
Yep. He's just a piece of trash. Anyway, we're gonna have a guest on the show today.
We have an exciting episode 2 for you.
Yeah, we do have a guest for episode 2. Episode 1 was just me and you, just banter.
Just banter. Just trying to get a good character establishment.
And I want to point out the obvious.
Yeah.
From episode 1 to episode 2, we made a list of things that need improving.
So far, none of them have been improved.
No, you can still see I'm rocking Sterling's, my 4-year-old's
the baby headphones.
Baby headphones. I can't even wear them directly on top of my head because if I do, you'll see that they don't cover my ears. So I gotta slide them back a little bit.
You have the $400 in-ear monitors that I saved up, that I actually got, and you've got,
I don't know, $12. Target special probably.
$5 bin at Target.
Yeah, $5 bin at Target.
$5 bin.
Headset. So that has not been upgraded. Let's see if that can happen by episode 3.
I told you it's a thing. We're gonna replace everything on the list. Actually, the list may never happen as much as we procrastinate.
Speak for yourself. I had Amazon pulled up. I was gonna prime those suckers to my house. And what did you say to me?
I said, hey, there's a lot of things on the list. Let me just put it together, and we'll get it done. But here's the thing. Greatness takes time. You know what we have?
We've got time. Oh.
We got time.
Those are the words that we use so often about production of Final Descent Outdoors. We've got time, and then it comes down to us not having any time. And anyway,
and then when it comes down to that moment, what do we say?
If it wasn't for last minute, nothing would ever get done.
And then someone always says, "Oh, we got time."
Yeah. Anyway, we're excited today. We have some guests that are going to be on the show today.
Yes.
One of our staffers, Daniel Arms.
Yes. Is
going to join us today. Him and his wife DJ are actually going to join us today. And we're excited about having them on the show. Daniel has filmed for us for about 8 years. Is one of our pro staffers, but has also launched his very successful YouTube channel.
Arms Family Homestead.
Right. Arms Family Homestead. And it's done okay. If mediocrity is your, it's done okay.
If that's the bar.
It's a neat little channel. It's cute.
Neat. It's cute.
It's a cute little channel he started up. Listen, I realize that this video will probably be viewed by some of Arms Family Homestead's people.
And just for those of you who view Brad with a particular level of
distaste.
Disdain? Mm-hmm. Yeah?
Yeah.
This is him. This is the guy.
There are people that are followers of Arms Family Homestead who hate me.
That is not an over-exaggeration in terms.
We'll talk about this more in detail with Daniel.
Yeah, when
DJ.
we get into the conversation with them.
Man, we'll talk about why people, some of them hate me.
But yes. I mean,
it is what it is.
Is there additional people out there outside of this episode?
This is brought to you by Burlington Northern, Santa Fe.
Add a star.
All right.
Add a star.
Podcast needs. We're adding a star to change location. I don't know if you can see this or not, but we now have 5 stars next to that.
I think we're officially now a 5-star program, right?
Hey, there we go.
Hey.
I like it.
We really got to fix. I mean, this headphone cord. I know those who are listening on the podcast can't see what's happening right now, but I'm actually like chafing.
And it's red. It's a red.
I'm chafing
cord.
from this vinyl cord.
It's only missing the Spider-Man actual character himself on the headphones.
I really hope we could maybe find the actual Spider-Man.
We have some.
And hook it back on those.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're super excited about having Daniel and DJ on the podcast with us today. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. And for those of you guys who don't know, you can follow us on our other social media platforms.
For sure. Yeah.
You can find Brad on things at FDO Outdoor or
FDO Outdoors on Instagram. Mm-hmm. It's just search us up, search Final Descent Outdoors. Follow us on Instagram. You can find us obviously on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook, and you can find us on TikTok as well.
And if you want to bug me, you can find me, and I might respond, probably not.
No, you don't do the social medias.
I turn off notifications.
Yeah.
But you can find me at Hurley Films, HearlyFilms. Yeah,
for sure. Good stuff. You can watch Adam build a house.
You can see me build a house. It's was the most stressful thing I've ever done in my entire life.
Besides this, buddy, I'm fixing to rock your world, son. Old son, this is going to be fun. I can't wait to make your life miserable with this podcast. And
hey, we need to shoot another podcast.
It's going to be great. Anyway, and so I'm wearing one of our merch. This is our best-selling item.
Yeah.
You're rocking one of them, too.
Right here? Can't see it behind the mics.
It says, "Let them grow."
Let them grow. Antlers.
I got some antlers on it. But this is our number one selling merchandise item. Not just the hoodie, but what it says. We have this in a T-shirt and a hoodie. But it says, "Jesus ate meat."
It's quite a declaration.
And it's a true declaration.
It's a true declaration. And it comes from an actual Facebook story, does it not?
Yeah, no, it comes from a Facebook story. We had actually multiple. Obviously, just being a hunter, you catch hate. But then
Flag
you
City.
Identify yourself as a Christian hunter. And then it brings out like a whole other set of trolls.
A slew.
A slew of trolls. A slew of trolls bring forth themselves, and that's kind of what's happened.
Yes.
And so I'll get people that'll make comments. First off, I've got great comments. I've had actually somebody say, "Why don't you get your meat from the grocery store where they make it?" That person voted in our last election.
They probably drive. They may have children they're raising.
Yeah. And so anyway, they legit asked me, "Why don't you just get my meat from the grocery store where they make it?" I hate to be the one that breaks it to you, but every time you eat a cheeseburger from Burger King or Whataburger.
Thank you, Whataburger, for your sponsorship.
They don't sponsor us, but that'd be great. Anyway, and every time you eat a hamburger, there somewhere along the way, I don't want to gross you out, but there was a gut pile.
And there was a thing that died.
Something died, and there was a gut pile. And so don't be mad at me for making my own gut pile. You know what I mean? I know that's kind of
graphic.
Kind of graphic, but it's the truth. You know what I mean? Somebody wants to do that themselves and provide food for themselves. Anyway,
truth is graphic.
The truth is graphic. That truth is very graphic. But anyway, I've had multiple people come to me and say, "How can you call yourself a Christian and kill God's creation?" Lots of people have said
I should have wore the other shirt.
Rise, Kill, Eat?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of our other shirts. It says Rise, Kill, Eat, based off Peter's dream. Anyway, and so, if you haven't read the Bible, if you're just making this assumption, who killed the first animal? God did. Do you know that? God killed the first animal, all right, to make clothing for Adam and Eve in the garden.
Yep.
Right? God killed the first animal, right? We see in Genesis chapter 9, Noah builds an ark, right? Everybody thought the dude was crazy. Floods come down. He's on the ark. Walks off the ark. All the animals scatter. They go out. God says to him, Genesis chapter 9, start verse 3. Just as I gave you the plants of the earth, now I give you all these animals. You see all these animals? Now you can raise them. You can domesticate them. You can eat them. These wild animals, you can hunt them. And he lays out some rules for it, but that's when we're allowed to become hunters. We get meat eaters, right? All right, so boom, God gave us this right there. All right, you look throughout Scripture all the times. You think about David, hunting, killing lions and bears, and incredible stories throughout Scripture of people, hunting and
Freaking Samson tore a lion in half from his jaw. Just freaking peeled him open.
Right. So
like a can of tuna.
Like a can of tuna. I would like to see you peel open with your bare hands a can of tuna.
Just. No.
No, you can't.
It needs the little lid that little
sardine lid.
Little sardine lid.
Yeah,
I could do a sardine lid.
Sucker open.
Sardine lid
Anyway,
strength.
one of my favorite aspects though is that when God's people were in the desert, right? They're hungry. Mm-hmm. God said, "I'm going to feed you."
Quail.
No, tofu. God said, "I'm going to provide tofu for you every morning."
Maybe that's what manna is.
No, manna is a honey type bread.
And tofu is a
disgusting,
unless it's fried in pig fat.
Exactly. All right, so
it's a new Whataburger item.
It's a new what? Don't no, you're going to lose a sponsorship. Saying such false things. God chose to feed His people in the desert with quail. Have you ever had quail? Let me tell you something. I've eaten lots of wild game. I've had caribou heart, 60 miles north of the Arctic Circle in Alaska. Unbelievable. I was starving, so it was really good. All right? I've had elk, I've had moose, bear, whitetail, red stag, axis, alligator. I've had incredible.
Stingray.
I've had stingray. We'll talk about that. Yeah, we'll talk about that with Daniel and DJ. Quail is the best wild game meat I've ever had.
I don't disagree with you.
I love it.
I don't disagree with you.
And God chose to feed His people with quail. Okay? Anyway, get into the New Testament with Jesus. We know He ate fish. We see that He cooked breakfast for the disciples, including fish. He was obviously a good Jew, right? He participated in all the aspects.
Like He knew the law.
Like He knew the law, right? Growing up, which involved consumption of animal and animal products, right?
And some not.
Huh?
And some not.
And some not, right? Based off Jewish law. Yeah. So anyway, so we got the shirt, Jesus Ate Meat. If you're interested in any of our merchandise, check out our website, finaldescentoutdoors.com. It's actually stacked all right over there, neatly stacked, ready to be shipped to you.
Neatly.
It is neat.
It is neat.
You know why it's neat?
That was not laced.
You know
with
why
sarcasm.
it's neat? Because I didn't do it.
Because your wife.
Because I didn't touch it.
Because it's not
me.
It hasn't touched the hands of the legendary myth.
That's right. It hasn't touched me. All right. So what do you think? You want to hop into see if we can get a hold of Daniel and DJ and bring them?
Yeah, let's see if we can get them on.
They live in the sticks.
So
let's see if their internet.
Yeah.
They got a hamster probably running on a wheel.
They actually have fiber internet now, and it's legit, like too legit to quit.
We'll see about that.
I'm way jealous because
you don't have that.
My internet is. I'm on the Save Me Elon Musk wait list.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so let's see if we can get a ring up.
All right.
Hey guys, what's up?
Hey,
what's up?
All right, all the way from the big town of Sulphur, Oklahoma.
Yep, hanging out in our garage.
Hanging out in the garage that you've converted into your merch slash.
Yeah, I'm going to say lean. It's kind of picked over right now, but yeah.
That's awesome.
The Arms Family Homestead.
That's right.
Merch warehouse.
That's right. So Daniel we've known one another for a long time. You film for Final Descent. You film for Final Descent for, I don't know, man. How long you been filming for us? We talked about this recently.
Weston was what, 10?
Well, that was kind of an accident when Weston was 10. The first trip I went on was with Russell Hobbs to Arkansas to run camera for him on a bear hunt.
Oh, that was a disaster.
Yeah, it was a disaster, but I was actually on baby leave from work at the time. Houston was born, and he's almost 9. So that was the first actual trip I went on, I guess, really as an official helper.
A helper, a part of the show. Now you've been one of our pro staffers. You've been filming for us for a long time. We've done several trips together, not just me and you, but also DJ. Anytime we go to Florida, DJ has to tag along. Is that your favorite place in the world, DJ?
Yes. Yep. 100%.
No doubt.
She likes the mosquitoes and the alligators, and
I don't even care. I don't even care. It's Florida.
So Daniel, you for folks that maybe don't know, you filmed for us. You're an Oklahoma Highway Patrolman.
Live under a rock.
That have lived under a rock. They're not familiar with our media circles. You were a highway patrolman. You kind of started filming for the show, which kind of got into you starting a YouTube channel. So kind of walk us through a little bit of that.
So, well, really, I think it was the other way around. The YouTube channel kind of started before the stuff with the show,
Right.
Because I was filming everything that Weston and I were doing when he was little, when he was 8, 9 years old hunting. And I was just addicted to hunting shows on TV. That was pretty much all I watched. And a lot of them, I thought, I could do this. This is easy. This is easy. So I just started filming with just like I don't know, $150 camera that we had, and the shakiest little tripod that, you couldn't pan on it at all because it was just,
That's
and
what we talked about a lot in the last episode is our early cameras.
Yeah, we did talk about that a little bit. Yeah.
So I just started doing that just to be able to video and show my friends what we were doing, because everybody's got a hunting story that says, man, you should have seen that big buck picture, and they don't have it. So I'm like, well, I'll video everything just that Weston and I were doing, just so we'd have the memories and we could go back and look and upload it to YouTube to show friends and all that stuff. And I don't know, that the editing side of it become kind of fun and interesting to see what I could do. And that was how we first got on the show, was just by chance. Weston.
And I can't believe, did you email me? Somebody sent me.
Well, I uploaded the video of this big non-typical it's hanging on the wall in the garage. Big non-typical deer that Weston had shot, and then several months later, I think somebody told you about it or something, and you reached out to me and asked if you could use it on a youth episode.
Right, yeah, we always do a youth episode. We have for forever, and I remember I messaged you, and I knew who you were, but like we hadn't, even though we lived in the same town for like 10 years.
We went to different churches.
Hang. What'd you say?
I said we went to different
churches.
Yeah, exactly. You guys are some freewheeling Baptists. I'm a Southern Baptist, and so we didn't associate ourselves one another. No, but I knew who you guys were, but we just didn't. We weren't in the same circle.
Right.
And it's funny, it's like you were only a few handful of people that I really stay in contact with from Sulphur now. But anyway, so I reached out to you and said, hey, could I use Weston's hunt in this youth episode? Because I remember watching it. Somebody like sent me the link or whatever. And that's kind of how it started with you, kind of coming on and filming with the show. And you did that, and we've done that ever since. So we're talking 7-8 years been on our staff. But tell us kind of how this whole YouTube thing has just taken off for you.
So YouTube started off as just like a fun hobby, just videoing the kids, it was just Weston at the time, and uploading that stuff. And there was no schedule, and it was just a few hunting videos now and then. And I got really big into gardening, and was growing a huge garden and selling vegetables at farmers markets and all this stuff. And where I learned to garden was on YouTube. And a lot of people were like, man, you're getting good at that. You ought to come teach me how to grow a garden. And I was like, dude, I barely have time to do my own stuff. I can't come teach you. And they were like, well, post a video about it. You should do all these other videos. And I got to researching YouTube and some of the early gardening experts on YouTube. And I followed an old man from Louisiana. He was called the Bayou Gardener. And he just had this whole community around his YouTube channel. He hosts meetups, and this was all like way early on in YouTube's, YouTube, what YouTube is now. He was having like meetups at his house, and he had all this stuff and companies on board, and he had about 30,000 subscribers. And I thought, man, this 75, 78-year-old man's got it figured out, and he's growing a business model around a YouTube channel. And then YouTube kind of started their AdSense program, and I got to researching that and was like, so people are making money off of their YouTube videos straight from YouTube now. And then I was like, well, I can do some of these gardening videos. And I just kind of found a community on YouTube, and that I just kind of tapped into in that homestead community. I would never walk up to someone on the street and say, hey, we live on a homestead. It's just a farm to us.
I don't like that word. I've never liked that word.
Right. But in that circle of people, in that community on YouTube, that's kind of what people who don't live this lifestyle know it as. And I looked into YouTube, and the more I learned about it, it's about building communities around whatever your interest is. And there are pretty much any interest that you can think of on YouTube, you can find a community around it. And once it started growing,
good and bad, right?
Do what?
Good and bad.
Good and bad. Yes, absolutely. But there's a lot of good out there. And, we've just built a community around our lifestyle and our hobbies and what we do. And we kind of share a little bit of everything about our family and our interests and what we do for fun, and what, our chores and our animals and our faith. And people just kind of latched onto that. I mean, we've got subscribers that have been with us for 4 or 5 years. Truly believe in their mind, we're just like family with them.
Yeah.
And it's interesting.
That's been one of the dynamics I've noticed the most, just in the comment section of your guys' videos and watching them. It's like you have these regulars that they literally
Fixing to have a train whistle.
We are, I mean, go add another star to the list for, add a new location, new location, new location. But that's one of my favorite things about There it was.
Thank you, Burlington Northern.
Thank you, Burlington. This segment
of the podcast is brought to you by Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad. Possibly Amtrak.
Possibly. You never really know.
No, you never know.
Never know. We'll give it to them both.
Yeah, getting a ride from Wichita to Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Coming right by my house.
Yeah. But that's the coolest thing is just seeing that community, like you said, because everybody just wants to be a part of a community. They want to be a part of something.
Well, and maybe that's even if we take a moment to address the elephant in the room, that most of your subscribers hate me.
Well, that's true. I mean, there's a certain demographic. So the females over the age of 55 that really feel like they are our protectors in the comment section do not like Brad Clay.
So I made a video about this time last year, and it was total parody. I had visited with you about the sand bass running in the creek, and you were like, hey, I'll let you know when they're running. You kind of said, hey, they're running. I was like, hey, can I bring my kids? The world shut down. It's pandemic. And you're like, hey, we're not going to be there, but you're more than welcome to bring your kids and come to the Arms Family Homestead, DJ, and come and fish. And you're like, here's how you can get in our house if you need something in the house. Like, you totally opened your doors up, which I've been to your house a million times. We've been on trips together. Like, obviously we're friends. Not a big deal. Anyway.
Oh, it was a big deal.
Oh, it was a big deal.
It was a big deal.
I played it off as if I had broke in, total parody. I've broken into the Arms Family Homestead. I went in your house. And it was because my daughter got sand in her pants, and we literally took a shower. She took a shower at your house. Anyway, but I was joking about oh, it's a pandemic. I'm gonna steal some of your goats and all this stuff. Total joke. And there was a lot of people who did not think it was a joke.
I thought somebody was going to come find you.
I mean, people said
that.
I guarantee you there are people that said, I'm going to turn you in. I'm calling the law.
I'm calling the law, and it's going to.
Can you imagine some woman in Indiana called a local PD and said, I'd like to report a crime. Yeah, in Oklahoma. I mean, can you imagine getting that phone call? Because I bet people did that.
I'm not. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all.
Well, they call our post office for us, so I'm sure they called the police.
I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did. I mean, people like, you've committed a felony and you've recorded it. People
And
tell
you
me
have proof. You have proof, evidence.
Yeah, evidence.
So in good Brad Clay fashion,
Yeah, so
we
in good
decided
Brad Clay
to not
fashion-
learn from that, but to exploit it further.
Yeah, no. And so we made another video recently where, you guys just had your account hacked. Tragedy, horrible thing. I mean, it really was.
Oh yeah.
Bad deal, lost not only just revenue, but I mean, just a mess. Like you're having to redo your Instagram. Daniel, you don't even have a Facebook account anymore. Like it's just been.
Well, I've restarted one, but it's been.
They'll take it down. Don't worry.
Yeah, we already have once.
I knew that. So we made another video about this whole Facebook being, losing your Arms Family Homestead Facebook account and it being fishy.
It was a scam. It was all designed just to get more views and more algorithms and all of those kind of things.
Yeah, that we played it off like but then at the end we sit down with you like, hey, this was a joke. This is Daniel. This is the real situation. But I gained more hate.
Because people don't watch the entire video. That's the thing. They watch a couple minutes and click off, and they've already determined whether they like you or not based off of a couple minutes of the video, and clearly they didn't watch it to the end.
So here's the deal, Daniel. I don't want to be gunned down in a Walgreens parking lot in Fort Wayne, Indiana. That's him. That's that guy. That's him. That's that guy that's friends with the red panda. Daniel, will you just take a moment and just tell your followers. I'm not going to make you lie. You don't have to say that I'm this great person, but would you just tell them that, I don't know, would you save my life?
Well, I'll just tell them, I know Brad Clay really well. I trust Brad Clay. I would trust him with my kids, and obviously I let him wander around my home when we weren't here. I don't think I have anything to worry about with Brad.
Okay, thank you. So to all of Daniel's followers, please take note of that.
Specifically the gun-toting kind.
And any of the old ladies who would want to beat me with a purse in a random parking lot somewhere. So anyway, but Daniel, so your YouTube channel's grown for you guys, and tell me about a decision you recently made about making a career change.
Yeah, so I was a trooper for 14 years. I was on Oklahoma Highway Patrol and thought that would be a lifelong career, at least a long career, 25 plus years. And after figuring everything out on YouTube and seeing what it was doing, for several years, it was just a part-time. I always preach to people about side hustles. I always tell people, do something. If you got a full-time job, do something else for yourself. Do whatever, mow lawns or clean houses or whatever it is. And I preached side hustles to people for years because I said, you never know what could come of that. And I never thought my little side hustle would outgrow my career and outpace my career in such a way that we eventually got to a point where we had such a large following on Facebook, YouTube, and started doing merchandise and doing so many different things, and turning our small little YouTube channel into a business and trying to treat it as a business. I just, for probably a year, I would go to work and say, where's my time better well spent? Is it at this career, or is it at home doing what I love to do? And it was a long, hard decision, but ultimately we talked for a long time, and we finally decided to step away from the Highway Patrol to pursue this full time, to be able to be here and run our own business and be able to do everything we wanted with our kids and not miss sporting events and not miss school events and all of that stuff, and be able to work on my own schedule. It just seemed like a dream job. And it took us a long time to get there, but in July of last year, I took an early retirement from the Highway Patrol. So did 14 years. And since then we've been doing our own thing here on the farm and YouTube and Facebook, and started our own little merchandise company. We're fixing to make a big launch real soon, and kind of try our hand at launching our own brand, something more than just a logo t-shirt that has our name on it. And I don't know, just trying to expand and grow as many different directions as we can.
So DJ, when you married Daniel many, many moons ago,
Mhm.
is this, I mean, give me your feedback. I mean, I want to hear from you. Like, did you ever think this is where
In your wildest,
in
your wildest,
in your wildest
dreams.
dreams, DJ? Did you ever think this is what you would be a part of?
No.
It didn't exist then.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't even. I mean, Facebook, when we graduated college, Facebook was brand new, so, and it was just
2009. I saw that the other day.
do what?
I started my Facebook account in 2009.
Well, we did in what, 06.
Something like that.
Yeah, it was like 06.
Because back then, I don't know if you remember.
Had to have a college email.
Exactly.
Yes,
You had to be
yes.
in college to have Facebook, or you weren't
Yeah.
cool. And we were just at our end of our college careers when Facebook came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little bit older. I know I'm older than me and DJ. We graduated the same year. I think we talked about that. But
Yeah.
Daniel's a young pup.
Yeah. So she went to college later. So
Yeah,
she was in
I
college.
took
at the
2
same
years
time I
off.
was.
Yeah.
She had to wait on me.
Ah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, so I never thought that this was anything possible. Matter of fact, when he, first mentioned, taking an early retirement, I cried. I mean, for probably an hour.
Multiple times.
Yeah, I mean, the first conversation was just, I don't know, it was overwhelming, made me sick to my stomach, and just, I mean, because we worked really hard. We both did through the academy, and, all the changes and that your lifestyle change that has to be made, your husband being a state trooper.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
so it was just, I don't know. I couldn't hardly fathom him not being a trooper anymore.
Yeah,
so
because it's because, I mean, that's true. It's part of who you are. It's a culture. You're not a cult, but a culture. And it's a family. The whole family is associated with that job, and that job becomes a part of who you are. You just can't avoid it.
right. And so that it was hard. But then, the more we talked about it and prayed about it, and other things just kept falling in these places. Like, we just felt like God was telling us to go and do this, and while we can. And so ultimately that's what we decided to do.
You decided to make hay when the sun was shining.
Yeah. I think the final straw that broke the camel's back or whatever was when we were having all the riots, and I got sent to the Oklahoma City riots multiple times, but one day we were at my grandpa's 99th birthday. Like, I was off work, and we were at his 99th birthday celebration. All the family was there. We'd been there 30 minutes maybe. And my phone rang, and it said, you need to be in Oklahoma City in 2 hours. And as important of a job as that is, it just got to a point in my career with me personally that, I don't know, I knew that there was more out there for me personally, and I loved that job. I loved that career, and I loved all the people. But I don't know, when you have so many other things riding on what, your own personal business at home, I don't know. It just got to a point where I felt like I was needed more at home than I was.
Like, everybody can relate to that, man, because I mean, obviously we see what's in the news. We see how hard it is to be in law enforcement right now. No matter your spectrum you fall into this whole thing, and I'm not here to get into some political debate or whatever. We all recognize it's a really hard job, and it's scary, because I have done ride-alongs with Oklahoma Highway Patrol.
Right.
OJ.
It's changed a lot over the years. Don't get me wrong. It's changed a lot.
Mhm.
Law enforcement changed. People's view of law enforcement's changed, but also I was getting to a point, and I don't want to talk. So I'm not trying to say we're big time, but when you start getting recognized in uniform multiple times, like on a regular basis, and people know what you do for a living, and we're doing what we're doing at home.
People are like speeding on purpose. Oh, Daniel.
Well, not that, but just, I don't know. It kind of, felt like I was opening myself up to be a target for something. Somebody wanted to do something, I would be an easy target. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean, That makes sense.
If somebody wanted to be on the news, do something stupid and be on the news, they're going to come find me, and it's going to blow up. You know, I don't know. It's going to blow up the news.
Oh, we get it.
No, I do
100%.
understand. I do understand, man. I totally get it. Well, so we've been blessed to be able to do some awesome trips together. We've been to Florida. Have we gone multiple times to Florida?
Yeah, we like us as a group went to Florida twice.
Yeah.
You and I went to Louisiana alligator hunting, but the Florida trips have been just insane. They're so much fun, and
They are fun.
it's like chaos from the moment we get there. Like we tried to pack way too many days into not enough.
I just remember that last trip that we went on, and you and Kendall Jones were up all night, and me and DJ rode to get. We were like left you guys.
Well, we were on an airboat.
Airboat.
You got to fill in the blanks there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. You and Kendall were up all night with the guide trying to get an alligator. And
Kendall was trying to harpoon an alligator off an airboat.
Off an airboat, yeah, trying to harpoon an alligator off an airboat. And it got to a point like it was late. Me and DJ were on an airboat together too, and it had like some motor trouble. And so like we ended up going back to the vehicle and like waiting. And then it eventually was like, because DJ, you're tall. Like how tall are you, DJ?
About 5'11".
You're about 5'11". I'm 6'2", in that ballpark. And we're like, okay, are we like gonna sleep in the car?
Yeah.
The rental car that you
it was
got for the four of us was a
I'm cheap. All right. We tried to get an upgrade, couldn't make that happen. All right. We'll go into all the details on that. Right. Didn't make it happen. All right. So we decided, me and Deidre are like, we've got to go back because I got to go to sleep. It's like 4 a.m. And so we leave. We go back. We had a house that we were all staying in. So we go back, crash out, fall asleep. You guys kill an alligator in daylight the next day.
Daylight, yeah.
So y'all are up all night. And then we don't miss a beat. Like we don't even quit. Like it's like like you said, we just cram everything into, we just pack it too full. But it's always a ton of fun. And we went bow fishing.
Yep.
Is that one of the most things? I know you loved it.
Yes, it was amazing. Such a rush. Oh my gosh. Yeah, as you know, which we, can't show all that, but
I mean, when you're bow fishing and you're shooting stingray in the water, that you're like, I think I can hit this target. It's this mat swims by. It's so much fun because anybody can hit a stingray. I mean, there's so much, but then the power, like you just wouldn't. That's what blew me away was how strong they were.
What blew me away is how good they are to eat.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it was
not
really good.
delicious. I mean, unbelievable. We ate those the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, super good.
Yeah, super good. So we've done that. Me and Daniel.
We're actually going to do that again, like in just a few weeks. Like I'm on the countdown.
Yeah.
Like, so why is it that I don't get? Why do I have to always invite you?
Well, we're taking 4 teenage boys, so if you want to go, you can go.
I'm out.
The 5th teenage boy.
Yeah, we didn't get to go on our senior trip, so this is kind of, we're going to take Weston and his friends. And
Weston's graduating and wanted to go on a senior trip, and we were like, you're not going to another state with a bunch of teenagers, and somebody will end up in jail, and we don't know. Yeah. We're like, we will go and take you somewhere fun. So
that's what we're doing.
See
what I did there, Brad?
What?
I said, see what I did there? I planned a trip for the teenagers that I enjoy.
That was smart. That was a smart move. Could we plan a trip to go do it again ourselves? Because that was a blast.
Yes.
I've never been invited on any of these trips.
Anyway, moving on.
Anyway, yeah, let's just cycle right on by that one.
Yeah. You're so pale skinned. I don't think you can handle the
His son and me, we don't like each other.
Bow fishing, we do bow fishing at night though, so
yeah.
Yeah.
He always told me that prime bow fishing time was at like in between 1 and 4 p.m.
It was.
And you can't wear any shirts or hats.
Yeah.
You just have to go out.
I think he lied to you.
The sunscreen actually makes the fish go away from you, so you can't wear any of it.
Yeah, it's true.
Hey, although the last time we went, we did almost sink the boat.
We did. Yeah, that was a bad deal. He's got a new boat though.
Yes.
And has invited us to come back. And so we need to do that. Real quick, I know you're almost out of time because you got to go get your kids from school because you're a good parent.
Kids.
Children. You guys have 3 kids. Let's talk about just the faith aspect to you guys. And I know that's something that's important to you guys. You guys are super involved in your local church there, you Free Will Baptist there in Sulphur. But tell me how faith has played into and how that's important to not only you guys' lives and Orange Family Homestead, but also even to your marriage.
Oh gosh. I mean, that could be a long conversation.
Yeah, you got about 5 minutes.
Well, if we're kind of stay on the YouTube and social media subject, going into that deal, when I first kind of talked about it a few times, a lot of people are like, you don't talk about politics, you don't talk about religion on social media or YouTube, or don't do it. Just leave it out. It's the best thing for your channel. Just don't talk about it. And I don't know, that kind of struck me wrong. I just didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. And I think being a part of Final Descent kind of shaped that in a sense, because with the show, I mean, you've always been really open and honest about that. And I've never seen another TV show, another hunting show that actually did a devotional on every episode. And I was like, I'm not going to hide who I am. And God's blessed us with a lot of opportunities. We've got to do so many things that it just blows my mind when things line up the way they do. And, I did a video one time talking about my YouTube income, like years ago, and was like, I made a commitment. I put it on video, just said, hey, I'm gonna do a better job at tithing my money from my YouTube and all that. And it was just like, God kind of said, good job. And blessings just came from that. And I couldn't deny it. So how can I not share my faith with my audience? And my audience really, really responded to that very well. And, when you start talking about those things on YouTube, it can be controversial, but you just get hundreds and hundreds of people messaging you over time, sending you private messages about how something you did on a silly YouTube video, and you reached over and you grabbed your kid and you talked about something that happened in the Bible, got them to go to church, and it got them closer with their family, closer with the Lord. I don't know, I couldn't leave that out. Like, that's just become part of what we do, talk about, and we share. And the experts were wrong, that said don't talk about religion.
Yeah, if faith is a big part of your life, you can't compartmentalize that and just leave it out. You know what I mean? Especially if what you guys do, of really your YouTube channel is kind of following you around on a daily basis, keeping, donkey poodles alive and fishing in a creek, or, running your garden, or whatever it is you guys are doing. It's your daily life. And so if it's a part of your daily life, how do you compartmentalize that?
Right.
And leave it out? You can't.
And that in itself is encouraging for so many people, just to be able to see that, hey, somebody actually does walk this out on a daily life, and it's not something they just do.
Yeah, they're not just.
It's just not for likes or looks or whatever. This is real, and this can be done by anybody that wishes to follow.
Right. Right. For sure. Yeah.
I always tell this story. It's one of my favorite stories. And typically we didn't go to church on Sunday nights when Houston was a baby. And he hadn't slept. He didn't sleep through the night ever from the time he was born. He just did not sleep at night through the night. And we went to church on this particular Sunday night, and our preacher was closing out, saying the prayer, and I'm standing at the back and I'm crying. I'm just standing there sobbing, asking God for some sleep. I was so tired, exhausted, worn out. I just wanted a full night's sleep. I needed it so bad. And we went home. Everything was normal. Put Houston to bed like we always did, and then went to bed. And then the next thing I know, I wake up at 7 a.m. and I'd slept all through the night. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm in a panic, and I run in there, and Houston was sound asleep. and it was just like, I don't know, I just found myself just, crying again because like he heard me, because Houston did not sleep again through the night for another like 5 months. But just sharing that with people even, and I try to share songs, Christian songs, because that's also a way to worship and share, what little God can do, even something so small as just a night's sleep, what else could he do for other people that don't know him yet?
Well, and it just says too that nothing's too small. You know what I mean? You think about sleep, and how, God cares about us, and that even something that seems so small and minute is still a big thing to God, because it's a big thing to us, and that we can go to him with anything. There's nothing that we can't go to him about and present to him,
Not only did he create the universe and all the stars in it, but he also created every little hair on every person's head.
That's right.
Nothing's too small.
And some of us have more hair on our head than others, Adam.
That was a cheap shot.
It wasn't an expensive shot, I can tell you that much.
Oh, Adam, I'm so sorry.
I love you, buddy. Well, I know you guys are out of time. You got to go get your kids. It's time. We kind of had a time frame set up. Hey, we love you guys.
Hats off to you.
Oh, nice, Adam.
Look at all of that. Look at it. Look at this. Look at this hair.
Brad's really proud. He's been growing it out.
Mine's not as long as Brad's, but it's just a stick. It ain't like Adam's over there.
Oh, look at this. Look at this curl. Got a little duck curl going on the back. Yeah.
I just try to tell people that it's not that I went bald, it's that gravity became too much.
Those had to grow south.
It began to fall down through the face instead of the top of the head. But
whatever you got to tell yourself. Hey, Daniel, DJ, thank you guys so much for taking a minute, 30 minutes or so to visit with us. Love you guys. Let's hang out soon. Can we do that?
Tell them where they can, tell everybody where they can, the 6 people watching this, where they can find you.
Well, pretty much anywhere you type in Arms Family Homestead, we'll pop up. Our website, armsfamilyhomestead.com, and YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Now I had to change it to Arms Family Homestead Official because my Instagram got hacked, and now that name seems to be taken. So
Seems fishy.
Seems a little bit fishy.
Yes.
Seems fishy.
Yep.
So you guys make sure you check out Arms Family Homestead. Their YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. We always slap our approval on Daniel and DJ and the rest of the crew. Love you guys, and thanks for coming on with us today.
So as soon as you get that bow fishing trip with Travis down at Twisted Limbs, let us know and we'll put it on our calendar, because we don't really have to take off work like we used to. So.
No.
Isn't that awesome?
Yep.
All right, let's do it. Let's plan on doing that. That'll be fun.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Love you guys. See you.
Love
See
you.
ya.
Bye.
All right, man. Love those guys.
They are a delight.
They're a lot of fun. DJ is a ton of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel, ton of fun. Great couple. Really are blessed having them a part of Final Descent Outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
And he just continues to turn in footage of his kids smashing critters.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Great critters.
I know. His kids have been just killing big deer.
Mm-hmm.
His daughter, Emily, has killed it. And matter of fact, we didn't even talk about this. Last year, Emily and my son Matthias hosted our youth episode.
Yeah.
We need to put a link up.
We'll put a link, put a card.
Yeah, put a card up if you haven't seen that. That was a lot of fun. Daniel came, brought Houston here. We filmed it in here.
Yeah. Right here in the often coveted, not duplicated Final Descent Outdoors studios.
That's right. That's exactly right. Anyway, they're a ton of fun, man. Love those guys. Love having them on. Being in the inaugural, guests. First
They
time.
were first guests.
They're our
they?
first guest we've ever had on the
First
podcast.
guest.
Yeah.
First guest.
That's big time.
You can scratch an item off the list.
Do I have them on here?
I think.
No, I didn't
Dang
even
it.
have.
Gosh,
here.
No, you can't. It doesn't count. It doesn't work like that.
Bet.
Doesn't work like that.
Emily Homestead. All right, let's just go ahead and check that off the list.
We're just gonna. Did it feel good?
That felt great.
It felt good.
It felt good to check things off the list.
Good. That's good.
Anyway, super glad to have them on, though. That was a lot of fun, and it's been incredible watching how their social media has grown. It's just, here's the deal. Let's just talk about the power of social media.
Oh yeah,
And the good and the bad of it.
there's so much good in it, and the upswing on it is just in the same way that we have the show network and how we can reach so many men in their place of comfort. It can be the same exact thing with social media.
For sure, right? And you're hearing Daniel talk about that. You know, how YouTube and videos that he's made have impacted, people's lives. And you see that. I know Daniel has a huge impact because they've come after me. They've attacked me.
Yes.
They have wanted to see me.
I haven't gotten any of the
jail.
hate. I feel like maybe I'm just accessory.
Yeah, no, you're an accessory. You are the driver.
Just
You're the
there.
getaway driver.
Yeah. So I think that's less of a penalty in a court of law, right? Something
Yeah, an
like
accessory
that?
to crime. Yeah. You're not the one doing it, but
Yeah.
you're an accessory to it.
Accessory to murder sounds.
We didn't kill anybody. We just, apparently I trespassed and did a little breaking and entering is what people
I think
thought.
you may have been threatened with death.
Yeah, no, it got a little out of hand, especially with the first video that I did. But there's such power in social media, and in the good and the bad. And so obviously there's an opportunity there to inspire people, to be a light to people. But there's so many aspects of social media that can be bad too, because what ends up happening is you end up comparing yourself.
Oh yeah.
Social media causes you to compare yourself because rarely you just get to see the highlights of people's life. You know what I mean?
No, you don't. No one's necessarily making videos about the doo-doo they're stepping in constantly. And here's the thing though, like that's the thing that I enjoy about Arms Family Homestead's videos is that he doesn't really whitewash things. Like he really does have a Christian worldview that he walks day to day in, and he does show some of the bad. He does show some of the tough times. He shows that kind of stuff because it's so often in social media that you get that, like you said, all you see are the mountaintops and you don't get to experience any of the valleys. And then when you're in a valley yourself, you're sitting there thinking to yourself, well, my life's so bad. These people's lives, they're
so
never
good.
bad.
Yeah.
When that's the furthest thing from truth.
One of the things that bothers me the most about social media is that there are people that have kids. I've got 4 kids. Did you know that there are people that have white furniture?
I was one of those people.
I know. So I brought it up. I wanted to make it a little bit awkward. How do you have multiple children have white furniture? And then you post these beautiful pictures. It does make for pretty pictures.
Yes, it does. Well, here's the deal. We did have white furniture. We don't have white furniture anymore.
Okay.
For those of you who don't follow my YouTube channel, we built a house out in Wellston, Oklahoma, which is like building a house basically on the planet Mars when it comes to dirt quality. Mm-hmm. It is just red stick on everything, dirt, clay, and the first thing that left, because Brett helped move us in, and we did carry in those white big chairs.
Yes.
Those were the first thing that Casey sold. Like, I think those sold within about 3 days.
Okay.
Of us moving in. So we haven't fully lost our mind. Did we have them? Yes. But when we moved and realized what we had done.
Oh, so I bring that up because there's just this perception that social media can cast that, like, you just see the highlights of people's life, right? You just see the good.
Yeah.
And it can cause you to compare yourself. And I've been guilty of that. You ever been guilty of that?
Oh, I mean, not as guilty because I hate it.
Yeah. You're talking about
Turn
social
off
media?
all notifications.
That's true. You do hate social media, but
I do it, and it's not just social media though. For me, it's other things. It's anything. It's anything that you can compare yourself to.
Right. And so that can be something that like really gets to me because I put a lot of pressure on myself as a TV show host to hunt and try to kill big deer, and I don't always do a great job of that. But I see these other guys that are out doing it, right? And I forget that we're almost in a different place in life. Like, I'll compare myself to people. And I'll be like, man, so-and-so, look, man, they've killed like 3 big bucks this year. And then, but I look at their life and be like, their kids are grown. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I've
I was
got a
about to say, but
13-year-old.
how many sporting events do you have this weekend?
Oh man, I'm going to be between Tulsa and Oklahoma City. My son's in a baseball tournament. My daughter's in a soccer tournament. My other son is playing flag football right now. So I got a Friday night game. It's tonight. Got a game tonight. Got multiple soccer games, baseball games tomorrow in 2 completely separate cities. And I'm going to drive back and forth between them. Right, so I get in this idea that we compare ourselves. And I'll be like, oh, wait a minute, but they don't have kids that are young anymore. You know, this guy's 10 years older than me, you know, and he's got kids that are older, you know, or out of the house. And, you know, I've got a 13-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 4-year-old. But it's easy to compare yourself and get down on yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's easy. That's something I made on a video that we did the other day. It's so easy to look at nothing but the negative and be blinded by it and not see any of these things that you have around you that are good.
Right.
Because that's the one thing that, I mean, all humans, we're great at doing. But even in times of crisis, we're able to look around and see the good. That's when Jesus really shines through us.
Right. Yeah. And so social media, man, I mean, there's good aspects to it and there's bad. And I think it's one of those things where I think it's probably healthy to unplug from it from time to time.
It's extraordinarily healthy. It is unhealthy for me to plug into it.
Yeah. No, for sure.
And
You know what I mean?
that social media is one of those things that, like you said, it can be good, but it can so quickly turn into the biggest toxic poison. Should we add another star to the location for the tin roof?
Yeah, it's raining.
Raining, and another star.
That makes 6 stars.
6-star program right here,
Hey,
folks.
this thing's almost done.
Yeah.
You know, we're not far away.
We're
from
not
being
far.
done, you know.
But I guess what we're getting at here is social media, like all things in life, can be good and bad.
For sure.
So you need to know your limits.
For sure. Yeah, there's so many positive aspects to it. I mean, I've been able to connect to people that I haven't heard from in years. I'm able to follow, you know, people that I do care about and I do love, and able to see their lives and stay in contact with them. But on the flip side of that, there's aspects that are negative. And so I think it's important to have perspective. It's all about perspective, and it's all about moderation.
Yeah.
Man, it's easy for that stuff to take you over.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's aspects of social media that can be unhealthy by, you know, from that aspect of it too.
Things that you can just easily forget.
For sure.
Easily forget, but when you do actually remember how they don't dictate your life, and that the ultimate director of your life is the image of Christ and on
some
you.
people may think that's weird, right, to have a mindset about that.
Yeah.
But my favorite scripture, 1 Corinthians 1:18, says, "For the message of the cross is foolishness to those who are perishing,
Yeah.
but to us who are being saved is the power of God." So people can look at that and say, hey, this whole Christian worldview, that's stupid. The message of the cross, what Jesus did, trying to live your life that way. You know, it's just like Daniel, people saying, hey, don't talk about Jesus. But he did, right?
Yeah.
He talks about the Lord on Arms Family Homestead. You know, that's foolishness. People say that's foolishness.
Yeah, that's gonna get your channel shot down.
Right. But he's proved otherwise.
Yeah.
And so we appreciate Daniel. We appreciate his
Yeah.
stance and DJ's stance when it comes to being open about the Lord. Are they perfect? No.
No.
Are we perfect? No.
No. No one.
No way, right? But that's what we're striving for, man, to be as close as we can to point people to the Lord the best we can.
Yeah.
So, anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode 2
Yeah.
of Final Sin Outdoors podcast. I'm Brad Clay.
This is Adam Carter.
And,
See you guys on the flip side.
See you guys on the flip
Is that
side.
what the cool people say?
And that's what they say. That's the in crowd. All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you on episode 3. Is that going to happen, Adam?
Let's just not make any promises, you know?
All right. Love you guys. Thanks for tuning in.
See what happens.